Hi, I'm Josh.
And I'm Angie.
And welcome to GCFirst. If you're a first-time guest with us, we encourage you to fill out a connection card until you get a first cup, where you will receive a complimentary cup of your original coffee.
Here's your first glaze.
October is all about missions. This month we will be focused on how we as a church can be a part of evangelizing the world, from the sermons in our main services to special opportunities during the missions convention.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab your quarters because it's time for the Men versus Women Quarter Tube Challenge for Speed the Light and BGMC. Last year, with your help, we were able to raise $900 for these missions programs. Would you help us set the example again?
Here is our schedule for the missions convention week.
On October 15th, join us for the bonfire at John and Kathy Ritchie's house at 6:30 p.m. The cost is $1 per person.
On Sunday the 16th is Speed the Light Sunday, 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m.
On October 18th, join us for home groups at 6:30 p.m. Rich Ferguson will be at Ken and Judy Andrews' house, and Corey Bro will be at Pastor Rich and Laura's house.
On the 19th, Forever Young will have Don White at 10:30. Refuge at 6:30 will have Corey Bro. An adult group will have Rich Ferguson.
On the 20th, the home group locations will be Paul and Carla Weiss will be at Pastor Rich and Laura's house, and Don and Diane White will be at Dan and Teresa James' house.
On Friday the 21st, we will have our missions reception at GCFirst at 6:30 p.m. Cost per person is $5 and $10 per household. Our keynote speaker will be Paul and Carla Weiss, and our guest missionary will be Don and Diane White.
And on the 23rd, Chuck and Wilma Lormis will be in both services.
We also encourage you to take this time of the month to pray about how you and your family can either continue to support missions or begin supporting missions. During the week of the convention, you will be given faith promise cards to complete and turn in.
Let's talk to one of our pastors about faith promises.
So what is a faith promise?
It is a sacred act. It is a spiritual agreement between you and God that with His help, you will give a certain amount to the church during the next 12 months to be used for missions and the evangelization of the lost. It is a sign of total reliance upon God for divine provision.
Who can make a faith promise?
Every family unit, a family, a single person, a couple, anyone can make a faith promise.
Aren't faith promises just for those who have sufficient income?
Faith promise giving is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter if the donor is a child with a small weekly allowance, a teenager with a weekend job, a single mom struggling to stretch a budget, or a retired couple living on a limited pension, because your faith promise is not based on your bank balance, but on your faith balance. If the promise is something that you can afford easily, it requires little or no faith. If the promise isn't a challenge, it may not stretch your faith. Our faith should be continually growing. Is yours?
Why should I fill out a faith promise card?
The missionaries can't leave for the field until they have raised their full budget. Church leaders must know how much income to expect from missions before making monthly commitments to the missionaries. Your faith promises help the church leadership determine how much to budget for missionaries seeking monthly support.
Will others know how much my faith promise is?
No. Amounts, but not names, will be announced. Confidentiality will be maintained, and only those who administer missions funds will see the cards.
If I made a faith promise last year, must I make a new one this year?
Yes, because each faith promise is made for 1 year, and since you saw God's provision last year, now with stronger faith, you will want to increase your faith promise for next year. Your faith promise cards can be completed and turned in at the missions reception.
October is Pastor Appreciation Month, and we want to encourage you to honor our pastoral staff. There will be card boxes for each pastor made available to you to place cards or notes in. The last Sunday of the month, October 30th, a special offering will be received for the pastoral staff. This time of appreciation is for the staff pastors. We will be taking time to honor Pastor Rich, our lead pastor, in December. Hey, don't forget, we are continuing to fill the barrel in the hallway with bags of individually wrapped candy for the trunk or treat on October 30th, which is late.
Not Halloween.
Oh, it's just Sunday. Okay. Thank you.
We're so glad to see all of you here this morning as we gather to love God and love people.
Don't you forget.
Don't you forget. Don't you forget.